Hi, welcome once again to Career Campus UG. And today I want to talk about lessons that we can be able to learn from one of the world's best education systems, and that is in Singapore. Now, Singapore, just like Uganda in the early 1960s, was a third world country. But over the years and to date, Singapore is one of the first world countries. The last time I checked its GDP in 2023, it was about 294 million Ugandan shillings, or its GDP per capita. And Uganda's is about 4.2 million Ugandan shillings. Now, what this GDP means, it means this is the average income that an average Ugandan earns in the entire year. So when you compare Singapore and Uganda, which was almost at the same economic level in the early 1960s, at the moment, an average Ugandan is earning about 4.2 million shillings in a year, yet a Singaporean is earning 294 million shillings a year. Can you imagine? Such a big difference. Of course, there are many factors that have led to that growth. But one of the factors that Singapore has taken interest in is focusing on its human capital development. By that, I mean that Singapore looked internally and realized that they don't have natural resources, they don't have gold, they don't have, they don't have oil. And so they focused on building the human capital or the human resource, making sure they have the best human resource that you can export. That is their only competitive advantage. And so Singapore decided to invest a lot of money in its education. And right now, like I earlier said, it is one of the best education systems, producing some of the best, people in finance, in banking, in technology, fintech, etc. in different fields. Apart from these other, factors that have supported this growth, there are lessons that we can pick from the Singaporeans in school that also learners here can be able to replicate or, pick a lesson or two that they can be able to, work with. Now, in their education system, the Singaporeans have, I could call them, 5 areas that they place a lot of emphasis that I want to share with you today. Area number 1 is that they approach education holistically. So it is not just about the grades, but they also focus on what we call co-curricular activities. So every student should participate in a co-curricular activity. So apart from the day-to-day, classroom work, you should be able to participate in any other activity. Could be in arts, could be, learning an instrument, could be sports, etc. Number 2, they make sure the students are equipped with 21st century skills, competencies. By this, I mean skills that are away from the books. Sometimes we call them soft skills, but they are not really soft. They are key skills. Things like creativity, communication, teamwork. So that by the time a student is done with school, they can communicate comfortably, they are confident, they can, work in a team, they are creative, they are thinking outside the box, So this is one of the areas that they have also placed a lot of effort into. Then the other aspect, or number 3, is that they, have what I would call a lifelong learning mindset. So the learning aspect does not just end with today's exam, that yes, I finished my certificate, I finished my diploma, I finished my degree, I finished my high school. This is done. I don't want to open a book again. No. Even when they have achieved that, they continue to acquire new skills. The mindset that says, I need to learn something new. I need to acquire an additional skill. So they have this embedded in their culture. You finished your grades, but do you have an additional skill that you can learn? And then the other aspect is that they have what they call mastery over speed. Master something as opposed to running through just to finish it up. So if you're learning, say for example, physics, biology, or whatever subject, can you master it to the detail? Can you know its applicability, for instance? So that you just don't say, I just learned some concepts there. No. Have you understood those concepts? Can you apply them? So they put a lot of emphasis in mastering those concepts and just not, saying that this is done. We are done with this. And then the other last aspect is something that they call mentorship. Mentorship. But mentorship with their teachers in school. Because the education system is, highly supported, highly funded. The teachers are some of the best, human resource within the country and some of the most highly paid government, employees, or even those in the private sector, very highly paid. And so the learners have this, what we would call a teacher-student mentorship. For if you identify a teacher who, can give you constructive feedback, who is interested in, in your work, in your future, you create a relationship where you can be able to ask them for more guidance. And this relationship this mentorship relationship has enabled the learners come out differently, come out more focused, coming out of school knowing what they want to do. And those are some of the areas that have led to Singapore being one of the best countries with the best education systems and producing some of the best results. Thank you so much for watching. If you love this video, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.